Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Nathan Johnston. I'm the Director of Payment Solutions here at Revolv. Joining me today we have Jeremy Merrill with Guardian Tax and Brandyn Cook with Worldpay. Today we'll be diving into the payment industry within the tax resolution business and maybe some of the difficulties or challenges that tax resolution businesses face today. So joining us is one of our clients with Guardian Tax, Jeremy Merrill. Jeremy, go ahead and tell them a little bit about Guardian Tax and the services that you offer.
Yeah, Guardian Tax, we're a full-service tax resolution firm. We help our clients mostly with issues with filing compliance and also clients that have delinquent tax debts. We deal with a full spectrum of services, including tax preparation, resolution services, audit defense, and then we have other ancillary services like entity setup, bookkeeping, those types of things that we're here to help our clients with.
Also with us, we have Brandyn Cook at Worldpay. Brandyn, for the listeners who don't know who Worldpay is, can you give them some insight?
Yeah, absolutely. So Worldpay is a leading global payment processor. So what that means is we process different forms of electronic payments and help with all of the additional services and products that are needed to optimize that process. So really excited to be here, Nathan.
So let's go ahead and jump on into it. I like to look at payments as maybe a video game when you were a kid, and there's certain levels that you're trying to unlock. Whether it's increasing your approvals, decreasing declines, lowering chargeback ratios, and many others, which we'll get into the show here. So Jeremy, maybe tell us some of the difficulties that you had in payments before you reached out to Revolv and Worldpay, and maybe some of the issues that you were seeing within the payments industry when it relates to tax resolution.
Yeah, definitely. So, what we were experiencing, prior to reaching out to Revolv is low approval rates. We had fees that were all over the place. The clients by nature are dealing with a financial hardship. A lot of them have, money that they owe to the IRS or to another tax authority. And so they tend to be, in some situations, trying to shield themselves from the IRS or from those problems. So we run into issues just with clients. Their payment methods are changing all the time. Approval rates are low. With the CRM that we use, it's really a niche CRM specific to our industry with some outdated integrations. And from my perspective, I really need to be focusing on the day-to-day of the business, and I just need to know that my payments are processing and clearing, and I don't have to spend too much time manually running payments and constantly focusing on that. And so those are the types of things that we were experiencing, and why we reached out to Revolv.
Let's actually touch on the fees portion first, and I'm going to go to you, Brandyn. Maybe give our listeners some insight on fees and how we look at payment fees and the different risk ratios and that could be involved with that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when we're looking at tax resolution, specifically, that typically those businesses fall into higher risk categories, and I'm sure that's something you experienced, right?
Absolutely.
Some of the reasons for that are just the higher number of chargebacks you typically experience, which makes sense with your client base, right? As well as kind of the collection timeline. When from a processor standpoint, we prefer when all the funds are collected up front. Obviously, that's not realistic all the time in tax resolution. So those factors and a few others typically put tax resolution businesses into higher risk categories. That alone increases the processing costs, and you're typically dealing with higher risk processors, right, who assess a much higher fee than working with an industry leader, right? So those are big pieces. And then you mentioned your CRM, right? And having to connect with different gateways and different middlemen. And of course, all of them assess fees too. So right. And that's the benefit of working with us. You get a industry leading platform with a direct connection to a global payment processor. So you're cutting out all those middlemen.
And that's actually something that we went to Worldpay with and said, look, we have some clients in this tax resolution space, and everybody else is considering them high risk, but we don't think all of these merchants should just be thrown in a high risk category, which is increase in fees and rates. In the tax resolution business, chargebacks is a big topic. Why are you receiving chargebacks? What are you doing to mitigate those chargebacks? And ultimately, how do you lower that chargeback ratio?
Chargebacks are really a big part of what I focus on a daily basis. And being properly prepared for those and handling those the right way is obviously critical for our business. Working with Revolv has been great because we've really had the support in the background to make sure that we're not only prepared for the chargebacks when they come in, and that could be anything from, making sure we have proper documentation, that we're setting expectations with the clients properly, that the paperwork is backed up with that, but then also having the support when we do have chargebacks that come in, not only getting additional knowledge and understanding of, why the chargebacks are coming in and what we need to do to address those. But we're working on things like, canned responses and templates and things that we can utilize that will help to make responding to the chargebacks a little bit easier. And that's been a huge benefit and support that we've gotten from Revolv, and also having the Worldpay portal has been fantastic for us. They've got a very intuitive system that allows me to get in there and not only respond to the chargebacks, but see in real time what's going on with those and what the progression is, seeing reporting and historical numbers so that we can really show that, hey, at the end of the day, the steps that we're taking with Revolv and with Worldpay are positively impacting those chargeback rates.
Great, yeah. And Brandon, tell us a little bit more about the portal that Jeremy mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. IQ is a very versatile portal. We want to make all of your reporting, your transactions, declines, chargebacks as visible as possible, right? As transparent as possible. And really, when you hit on something really important with this partnership, with Revolv's extremely consultative approach and innovative platform combined with our world-class portal and product, you put those two things together, right? And it greatly improves your experience and reduce your costs. And I think that's what we're planning to take to this industry as a whole, right?
Brandon actually just hit on, more of the consultative approach that we took and that we do take with all of our merchants. One size never fits all, so we always want to take that consultative approach. Tell us a little bit about that and your experience in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from my perspective, I've got to spend time focusing on the day-to-day of the business, as I mentioned earlier, and anything that I can have taken off my plate, I'm really looking forward to. And with a partnership with Revolv, it's really been helpful because, as you know, you've taken on a lot of, I haven't had to change much of my business or my procedures or the way that we do things to be able to incorporate Revolv and Worldpay. And we're seeing the results from that. We're seeing the increased approvals, increased revenue, collections processes are easier and smoother. At the end of the day, what that's really done for me, the consultative approach that we get from Revolv, is it really is a partnership. And it allows me to then pivot my energy to scaling the business and growing and increasing those opportunities and revenue.
And Brandon, quite a few of what he just talked about is due to our partnership and the features that Worldpay offers that Revolv has implemented into their platform. Tell us about some of those features and how you think they benefit Guardian Tax and the tax resolution business in whole.
Yeah, absolutely, great question. And when I think of features, I think of the primary benefits that I think tax resolution businesses should be getting from their payments, right? And that's increased customer experience, improved security, reduced cost, and better reporting reconciliation, right? And we've talked through some of those features, but if you're looking at an improved customer experience, things like account updater, automatically updating card information, so you have less of those payments not going through, right? That's one thing. With improved security, being tokenized, offering network tokens. Some of these latest and greatest advancements in the market are huge for our clients. And then on reducing costs, we've talked about it, winning more of your chargebacks, which is really a combination of this partnership. And then for the partnership overall, I really think how well Revolv knows our platforms and how consultative and responsive they are with the clients truly drives success here. And it's so important to what we do and what we bring to businesses like Guardian Tax.
So we talked about a lot of the features and functionalities that Revolv and Worldpay were able to provide, and some of the things that we were able to take off your plate that you were handling to focus more on Guardian Tax and your core business. Maybe tell us a little bit about what you've experienced with some other partners and billing platforms in the past, and what's different there.
Yeah, good question. So dealing with other platforms, we just had overall issues, everything from just lack of support to, data loss that's leading to decline rates and issues with decline codes that just don't make sense in the space, which is something we just haven't experienced with Revolv in this partnership.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to bring up. And what's so important with this partnership is you're really working with two experts, right? Instead of relying solely on one company or one person. Revolv knows our platforms, they know payments, they know the data. Then on our team, we have verticalized, every one of our internal teams are verticalized to understand your business and can respond accordingly.
Yeah, and that's great that you bring that up, Brandon. We at Revolv really pride ourselves on, the implementations that we do to processors. And ensuring that all those features and functionalities that we offer are offered across, all verticals and all processors. So as we wrap up today's show, and I greatly appreciate both of you, joining us today on this show, is there anything that you would like to bring before we close?
Yeah, I think one last thing, what makes this partnership so unique between Worldpay and Revolv is the Revolv team is truly payment experts. They know the data. But not only that, they really understand our industry-leading platform. And with our two organizations together, we can deliver truly powerful results to clients like Guardian Tax. And that's what we hope to continue to build on and deliver to the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you both so much for joining us on our first episode, and many more to come. And thank you, listeners, for watching this. And we're going to go ahead and open a bottle of Revolv champagne. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.